open, so a lot of them had to take the sell somewhere around here on Monday, and they were all in massive profits to the downside. So this is, hey guys, at my FX right here, the prophetic analyst. So welcome back to our weekly market forecast of for the 24th to the 28th of February, which is also the last month of the last week rather of February. All right, so without further ado, let's dive into the business of the day. All right, so you guys will pardon my voice because I actually lost my voice and having kind of cough, and yeah, so I just hope to get better. So moving forward, we're starting off with gold. For gold, last week we were somewhere around this area. Price was close somewhere around this area. We wanted price to react to it, which it did, and if you're a lower time frame trader that trades between the 5 minutes, the 15 minutes, you might have made some profit here, but that did not really play out as we wanted to, so we were not actually interested on that trade. So rather, price kept going up back to this resistance there. So moving forward for this week, what's our next level target? Where are our next level target that we could use to our advantage? Okay, so what I'm gonna do in this case is I'm going to mark out my bearish side. All right, I'm still very much bearish on this thing, guys. I'm still very much big on the bearishness, and we can mark out our bullish side. Okay, so we'll give you guys the two-way scenarios like we do. All right, the two-way scenarios like we mostly do. So what are we looking for this week? All right, we have to see price break here, a retest on that zone for the bearish side, a bounce of this trend line, and maybe price could continue all the way to the downsides to this other level of the 2877 ounce. Okay, and for the bullish side, we could have price clear this resistance with Thursday and a continuation to the upside. Mind you, each new high that gold creates on the higher time frames like the 4-hour daily, these are the new highs, so we don't have previous price action to look at beforehand. And it's very important we look at how the weekly time frame closed for last week, because this way we could also see, all right, price is still very much close with the bullish with the bullish candle. So that's why I'm actually giving you guys a two-way scenarios of things. Anything could happen as at next week. But inside here too, if you are very good in chart patterns, you can see there is definitely a chart pattern right about there. Okay, it's something like a head and shoulder, and anticipating head and shoulders like so. So if that plays out real good, then that means we would be having our first level targets to the 2880 ounce to the downside. So but if you may ask me, where are you favoring? I am favoring the downside. Okay, so up next is Euro USD. Yeah, welcome back. On Euro USD, you can see we were looking for more like a sell to buy scenarios, and price actually sold. So if you were interested in those retracements, you would have made some good money for yourself until when price got to these zones, which was where we started looking for our bullish continuation. But price did not play out as we wanted. Okay, but regardless, we were able to catch some nice buys somewhere around here on Euro USD, which signals were also being sent on our free Telegram community. So if you are not on our free Telegram community, please do well to join. Click on the link on the description below. We had a very nice trade there, which we had, most of you think I trade only on the higher time frames. Okay, you can see we had right about like a 6 pip stop loss, and we targeted almost a 1:6. all right, we have 1:5, 1:6 right about there. Okay, but price made it all the way to the upside. So it's not all the time that we may be having a 20 pips, a 30 pips stop loss. Okay, so I actually use stop loss based on market structure and what price gives us. Okay, so I'll add it somewhere around in this video for you guys to see how the price went. Okay, so moving forward for this week, is very important we look at the weekly time frame to see how last week closed. This could help in our decisions for the coming weeks. Okay, so looking at price right now on the weekly time frame, this is how price closed for last week with this doji kind of a candle, All right, so you know what that means. And just like I said last week, okay, we shouldn't write off the bearishness, because price is still very much on a downtrend. Price is creating series of highs, lows, so this could be a new higher low being created before we continue to the downsides. And also, like I always said, price is here to clear these zones, and price is still very much on this monthly zone. Okay, so we shouldn't write off the bearishness of things for price. So what does that mean this week? Going back to our 4 hours, I'm definitely gonna give you guys the two-way scenarios of things, okay, because either which way in which price moves, okay, we are still gonna definitely make money for ourselves. Okay, so meanwhile, let me take this off. All right, then I'm going to plot new zones for price. So I'm going to extend this like so and extend this like so. Okay, so go to our 1 hour time frames, and we have two zones like right about there, so that's good. So what should we be looking for? I'm going to give you guys the two-way scenarios. Like I said, for the bullish side, okay, let's start from the bearish side since price is already bearish. All right, for the bearish side, we're looking for price to clear these zones, this area of interest right about there, a retest there, and first level target, which is our 1.035 areas all the way to the downsides, okay, for the bearishness. Then for the bullishness, if the bearishness doesn't play out, then we should be looking for price to continue if price breaks out, because price is already below this zone. This line here breaks out, a retest on that zone, then we can continue to the upsides. Okay, but if you may ask me, I would be favoring the downsides. But this downtrend, the deciding factor of the actual downtrend is the zones, guys. This line here is the actual deciding factor of the downtrend, because if you look right about looking left here, you see that price is on a range. Okay, price has been mostly on a range for like 3 weeks now, if not more. So even though we have this break, this retest to the downside here, price is still very much on these zones, which we still categorize it as a range. But until when price is able to break here and continue to the downsides, then we could know that price is actually ready for the bearish trends, and from there we can also add new trade entries all the way to the downside. So that's it for Euro USD. Up next is GBP USD. So for last week, we were looking for price to give us a break, a retest, coming back to these zones, which price came shy slightly close to that zones like so, and before it continued to our next level targets, which was the 1.28781, which you guys can see how it played out. If you think we are capping or you did not see the video, here is the video. Price, okay, we have to wait for price to come back to these zones. Okay, this is our first level, back to the 100% retracement level. Then we can target our next zones of our 1.268 area. Come back. So as you can see how price actually played out. Okay, so where is our next level target for this week's? Okay, so very important, we look at the weekly time frame. Candle close is always important at some point, so that it could help you in your deciding factor. Okay, so like I said, price is still very much creating series of lows, okay, a high, and we have a higher low here. So we could, and price is also reacting off these areas of interest. So we see how price closed there with more like a doji candle right about there. So we go back to our 4 hours to looking for price directional bias, no gimmicks, no too much of gimmicks here. So we just go straight to the point on how to decipher this. Mind you, price, these zones, price is mostly on the higher time frame areas of interest, so that's why we are having more like a range in which we are having right here on the zone. So we could be having something like this if we look deep inside. All right, we may have a chart pattern, anticipating chart pattern along the line before price may continue all the way to the downside if price wishes to go down. So like I said, I'm going to give you guys bullish and bearish scenarios. So for the bullish side of things, okay, for the bullish side of things, you'll be looking for price. This is a zone right here, right? Price will clear that zones, a retest and a continuations to the upside somewhere around. Then we can target the next zone, which is our 1.28 5 area, okay, for the bullish sides. And for the bearish sides, no gimmicks, since price is yet to get to that area. If price clears this zone of the 1.26, all right, we have a nice retest right about there. We can thereafter target our next level. I won't even be targeting this, I'll be targeting this next level of a 1.249 area all the way to the downsides. Like I always say, this zone 2, this low right about here, is also the deciding factor of GDP sales. Okay, if price can clear these lows or even these lows, all right, to the downsides, then we could be certain that price is ready to go to the downsides. Like I always say, mark out these levels on your phone or your PC or whatever device that you are using to trade. And also, if you are still watching this video to this very moment, please do well to smash that subscribe button, like, share, and drop a comment. Let's know your thoughts on the comment section. And up next is the DXY. Welcome back. So for the DXY, you can see price for last week, price was somewhere around here, and we wanted something like a buy to sell scenario, which this happened nicely, just like you guys can see here. Price later went to our targeted zone, which we wanted, and went all the way back to 100% retracement level, just like we predicted and we analyzed. And if you did not watch it or you think we are copying, here is the video. Price can come back, all right, that pullback has already started happening, and come back to this zone over 107, then we can have price come back to that support like so. Okay, welcome back. So you can see how the DXY was being predicted into precision. So for the coming weeks, for this week, where is our next level target? We go to our weekly time frame. Like I said, candle closings on the higher time frames are very important. Okay, this could be a very nice deciding factor to your bias on trade. So if you look deeply inside here, price is currently seated at an area of interest and a higher time frame area of interest. And if you also look here, you can see how price closed for last week with this doji kind of a candle and indecision candle. I did not just close anyway, it's closed on this area of interest. Just like I said, that zone is a deciding factor that we could have price bullish continuations from there back to the upsides. And I also say that this, what we are having, all the bearishness we are having on the DXY for now, is more like a retracement. Okay, so where is our next level target for the coming weeks? All right, so we could have price start plashing all the way from here to our first level, which is our 108, then before it can go all the way to the upsides. Okay, or we could also have more like a deeper retracement of price back to this monthly AOI to the downsides. Okay, but let's try to go to the lower time frames to see how well we can decipher that to the lower time frames. Okay, so where are those two zones? So anything that happens between this zone is more like we are not interested. Okay, if price continues bearish, right, a retest, then we can continue to the downsides. Then our next level target would be 105. All right, then if price wishes to go bullish, it would be only certain and make sense if price clears these highs retest, and we can go for our 108 right about there. So these are the levels. Do well to mark them out on your phone, your PC, or whatever device you are using. All right, for GBP JPY, okay, just like we predicted last week, you guys can still remember what we did here and how we predicted these sales. I gave you guys a free signal right about on the live last week YouTube video on how you could take these trades. You did not even need anything. Just like I said, our videos will give you a straightforward setups, and most of the times if I find good trading setups. Okay, so I told you guys that we could take trades, right? Just put your entry to right about there, put your stop loss all around the above the highs, and target the next level, which was this zone. So you can see clearly how price came into that zones, and we had a very nice bearishness from the minute that price opened, from the day minute that price opened, gave us that bearishness, little retracement back into there, and a nice drop, which was a very nice 1:2 right about there. So if you did not see this video or you think we are copying, here is the video. Easy busy, market open guys, market open guys. So all what you just have to do is to go pick your sell, to put the sales right there, put your TPs, and your A sell is very important. Your stop loss before you take profit, then you target your 1:2, or you target the next zone, which is right about here, okay, which is the 189 zones. Okay, then you can go all the way to the downside. This is still welcome back. So you can see how we predicted GBP JPY into precision. All right, we GBP JPY from last week to and the current week, and we made a lot of money from this range. You see, we had very nice three trade calls in a row, which signals were also being sent. And that's why I said, if you are not on our free Telegram community, click on the link on the description. The link would be on the description for you to join our free Telegram community. We host free live sessions and free Zoom calls there on the free sessions. So also, while within the week, while we were having a Zoom call on the Telegram group, okay, we also analyzed this, which we wanted price was somewhere around down here, and I told them we should be looking for a buy to sell for price to continue to the downside. So this GBP JPY was one of the best trades we took for last week, which made us a lot of money. And as you guys know, it's very long. I traded GBP JPY since a very long time. So with our strategy or entry confirmations, we can trade anything tradable, okay, as far as it gives us our kind of trading confirmations. Okay, so I don't just trade only the USD pays. As far as I have my entry confirmations, definitely we can make money out of those kind of trades, and the signals will also be sent. So this is what we teach on our mentorship, or in our mentorship, for our mentees and people to know, so they can decipher this thing themselves and make money for themselves. So that's it for GBP JPY. So for the coming weeks, what should we be looking for, or looking at rather? So let's look at how the weekly time frame closed. Very important. Okay, very important. Let's see the last candle for last week. Okay, so we can see this candle right here, price giving us that nice bearish candle. So it still sinks all the way to the downside. And also, if you look from way back, price has been creating series of highs, lows, highs, lows, highs, low. Okay, so no difference. So that means we have understood that price is on a bearish trend. So what does this mean now? So for the coming weeks, I'll be giving guys only bearish scenarios, guys. Okay, price to retest there and push continuations to the downside. And this is massive, guys, the space between here and here. Okay, so we'll be looking for price to come all the way to this downside. So this is about 500 pips drop. All right, 500 pips drop on GBP JPY that we would be looking at. Okay, so this is why we say we predict 1,500 to 1,000 pips into the future. Okay, so you can see we have all this space to ourselves all the way to the downside. So this is still part of our A setups. Use your trading strategy or trading confirmations for entry if you can, and if you can swing like myself, please do well to do that. Okay, and also if you think you need help, you can always take or gain our mentorship. So this is what we'll be looking for GBP JPY for next week. And up next is for USD CAD. For last week, we were looking for more like a buy to sell scenarios, which that actually happened. We had a very nice sniper entry, very tight stop loss right about there, and price took us to the upsides, and signals are also being sent on our community, which I'm going to add it somewhere around in this video for you guys to see. And yeah, so we were also anticipating, this was the trade in which we use as our last week thumbnails. Okay, but price is yet to get back to these levels before that drop, but I think we'll have a change of decision right now. Okay, we'll be flexible about our trading. All right, so that's one thing, projections of qualities of a good forex trader. Okay, you don't have to be rigid on your trading. Okay, so I'm going to mark out some zones. Like so. So for the coming weeks, no gimmicks. All right, we should be having something like this, price to either break to the upside, a retest on this zone, then we can go for our next level target, which is right about this zone, which is at 1.436 area. Okay, and for the bearish sides, if price continue bearish, if it breaks these zones right about here, a retest and then we can go to our first level target, which is at 1.407. okay, so these are the levels that we should be looking for, guys. So please do want to mark this out on your phone, your PC, or whatever device that you are trading. USD CHF has also been playing along with the bearishness all the way to the downsides, and price has been nicely bearish for the longest of time on USD CHF. So for the coming weeks, why are we doing this? We are coming back to the lower time frames to see how we can project the best level targets for us. Okay, so you should be looking for price to get to these levels. So for the coming weeks, you already have price respect that phase zone right about there. So we'll have price create a new high, which it has, and a continuations to this next level, which is our 0.891 to the downside. So what does this mean? Market open, you can just take your sales, put your stops all right about there, and target these first levels or all the way to the downside. Okay, so that's it for the bearish sides, and for the bullish sides, we would only be taking bullishness when price clears these highs, retest, and the push continuations to the upside. So do well to mark this out on your system or your PC. Up next is CHF JPY. And CHF JPY, so we can see how price has been on a nice bearish trend, creating series of highs and lows and highs and lows like so. Okay, so why am I even analyzing CHF JPY this week is because we had a very nice trade which was being notified by us or given to us by my own mentee. All right, one of my mentees, in which gave me that trade setup, or gave us that trade setups in which to show you guys how profitable or how authentic our trading signals were. You saw our kind of A setups, we were having a conversation, and I had to also look through the pay, and it played out very nicely, and I was like, this is a very good trade. It has all the check marks of our kind of A setups, even more than we do. I myself, I haven't traded this pay before. I've not traded CHF JPY before, but I just had to trade it when he sent it, and I saw that I met all our trading confirmations just like we wanted. So this was the trade in which he sent, and we took opportunity of the trade all the way to the downside. So this shows you that what we use is very, very reliable, and it doesn't just work for myself alone, it works for anything tradable, like I said. And as far as you go through our mentorship, you definitely replicate same success. Okay, so moving forward for the coming weeks for CHF JPY, all right, we go to our weekly time frame. I can see a very nice chart pattern right about here. All right, so that's another good thing, that we have something looking like a head and shoulders right about there on the higher time frame. So what does this mean? We should be looking for some nice bearishness to the downside if this happens. Okay, so pardon my voice, guys, like I said, I'm not feeling too good. Okay, so if price continues to the downside and is able to break this area retest and push continuations to the downside, so right, so you could go for your next level target of your 163 all the way to the downside. And for the bullish sides, you could only be taking the bullishness if price clears this high, okay, retest and a continuations to back to the upsides. All right, so these are the bullish and bearish scenarios for USD CHF. Okay, lastly, we have AUD USD. So for AUD USD, we can see AUD USD has we are on the weekly time frame right about here. AUD USD closed with more like a pin bar, a hammer candle, whatever you may call it, a doji candle. Price has been on the bearish side. Okay, and why I'm also looking more like to the bearish side of things is because of how price at the time reacted on AUD USD right about here. Most likely price should have come back to this area of interest since way back last month, okay, before giving us that drop, but price was just stalling around these zones and ranging. So until we had that breakout here, then a continuation to the upside. So this made me understand that we should still be very much in a downtrend because of how price has been playing around that zones, and this is the same time in which price is getting back to this area, just like the Euro USD and the GDP. Okay, although those ones were far ahead of it. Okay, so, and you know, it's a very long time it took AUD USD since like January, so I haven't traded it, but I've been monitoring it for a very long time. But I have to add it to this week's weekly market forecast because I'm seeing some nice setups right about here. Okay, so how can we utilize this for the coming weeks? So what am I going to do? I'm going to mark out some levels, all right, some good levels for us. So what should we be looking for is for this coming weeks, for price to come back to these levels, to react off these levels and push to 100% retracement level, which is at 0.632 area. Then we can go all the way to a 0.628 area. Mind you, when price is able to clear these areas of interest, this is actually the determinant of the actual bearish trend. Okay, so this is it for this week, and if you like our content, please do well to smash that like button, subscribe, and always make sure you share our content on across your social media platforms. And if there's any content or kind of forex video you like us to make, please drop it on the comment section, or drop some fire emojis on the comment section if you feel what we are doing. And that'll be it for this week, guys. Always remember to plan your trades and trade your plan. See you guys next week. Cheers.